What if I told you the games we wait years for often don't live up to their promises? In this video, we'll uncover whether waiting months or even years for the big next release is actually worth it. So you'll know exactly when to hit order or when to keep your wallet closed. Let's talk about the nature of hype in gaming. It's the lifeblood of the gaming industry and the reason we've all stayed up all night watching teaser trailers. Hype isn't just marketing anymore, it's a full-blown event. Look at the Game Awards for example. Some people call this 30% Game Awards and 70% advertisement. Now, I actually do love watching it. I love seeing what's next for gaming. A well-crafted trailer can send your imagination into overdrive. When a company drops that cinematic reveal at the Game Awards, it's like a spark that ignites a collective fire in the gaming community. But sometimes that spark burns too bright and too fast. We've all been there. You watch a trailer and think, this is going to change gaming forever. And then the game comes out and reality hits. That glorious trailer with seamless combat, intricate world building and next-gen visuals turns out to be more like a carefully staged TikTok filter hiding a sea of bugs and half-baked mechanics. Yes, I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk. Let's unpack this for a second. Remember the Cyberpunk hype? It wasn't just a train, it was a bullet train, a jet plane, and a spaceship combined. Customizable everything, a beautiful open world dystopia, revolutionary AI, it all sounded too good to be true. And guess what? It kind of was. Cyberpunk was more like a cyberfunk. Glitches everywhere, NPCs walking through walls, and let's not forget the infamous car falling through the map bug. It really was the gaming equivalent of showing up to a 5-star dinner only to be handed a microwaved hot pocket. To be fair, Cyberpunk isn't the only culprit. The history of gaming is littered with titles that promise the moon and barely deliver a pebble. And does anyone remember No Man's Sky's launch? The game was pitched as an infinite universe of exploration, teeming with life and adventure. But instead, it was more like infinite planets of beige landscapes and loneliness. To their credit though, they turned it around with updates, but the initial letdown was very brutal. The point I'm trying to make is that trailers are designed to sell you a dream. They're polished to perfection, showing only the best possible version of the game. Developers literally pour their hearts into these few minutes of footage, knowing full well that it might not fully represent the final product. And for some reason, we as the gamers eat it up anyway. And you might ask, why? Well, because we want to believe. We want to think that this game is going to be the one that blows our minds and redefines the genre. So, what does that say about us as gamers? Are we just gullible? Or is the hype itself part of the fun? Maybe it's a bit of both. What's certain is that the nature of hype has evolved alongside gaming itself. Once upon a time, we relied on magazine previews and word of mouth to build excitement. Now, with all the cinematic trailers, social media and constant updates, we're in an era where the hype machine never really turns off. It's exhilarating, but also risky, because when that dream shatters, it leaves a mark. The Mad Max game, for example. It's one of these games that didn't have the same level of mainstream hype before launch. It didn't have the elaborate marketing push or the massive promotional blitz that, let's say, Cyberpunk had. But years after its release, this game became pretty popular. The game started to build buzz through word of mouth, and before anyone knew it, became a must-play title if you loved the Mad Max series. And the reason being was it was incredibly well designed, challenging, mysterious, and most importantly, rewarding. And because of that, it quickly gained a devoted fan base, despite the lack of grandiose marketing. Here's the thing about hidden gems. They aren't chasing the same audience or relying on the same pressure to succeed. They get to quietly build their identity, often focusing on the core mechanics and design rather than pushing an image. Games like Celeste, Dead Cells or Stardew Valley didn't need multi-million-dollar ad campaigns. They simply needed to exist. Their appeal lies in their authenticity and their ability to surprise us when we least expect it. It's this element of discovery that's so appealing. The fact that you can pick up a game with no preconceptions, go in blind, and come out the other side amazed by what you've experienced. You can see it like stumbling across a hidden treasure chest while you're out exploring. The absence of the noise and pressure of hype means that the game has to win you over based purely on its gameplay, its mechanics, its world building, and when that happens, it feels earned. You didn't buy into the hype, you just fell in love with the game for what it is. And that's why I think most of us have a game that isn't that popular, but we hold very dear to our heart. Something that's often overlooked is the subjectivity of hype. Not all gamers approach hype the same way. In fact, the way we react to the frenzy leading up to a game's release can vary widely based on our personalities and personal interests. Some people thrive in the chaos of anticipation, while others just want to curl up in a quiet corner and avoid it altogether. For some people, the whole hype cycle is an enjoyable ride, a form of entertainment on its own. It's not even necessarily about the game anymore, it's about the process of waiting. Think about all those pre-release trailers, leaks, teaser clips and gameplay reveals. For some, they thrive in the speculation and the discussions about what's coming. But you also have people who are, let's just say, a bit more cautious with their hype. They're the ones who see all this excitement and think, yeah, I'll wait until the game is actually out before I get involved. These types of gamers value patience and tend to shy away from the whirlwind of promotional content. They don't want to spoil the experience or get caught up in the pressure of waiting for something that might end up being a disappointment. For them, this hype is less of a fun ride and more of a potential trap. They see how easily excitement can turn to frustration if the game doesn't deliver on its promises. And because of that, they prefer to avoid that letdown altogether. So, for me, the subjectivity of hype is a real thing. Some of us love the ride, some of us sit it out, and some of us can't even bear the idea of getting caught up in it. It all just boils down to personality and preferences. But regardless of where you stand on the hype spectrum, one thing is for sure. The way we approach these big releases can make or break our gaming experience. Whether you're all in on the hype train or prefer to wait until the dust settles, your personal approach to anticipation is going to shape your overall enjoyment. And that's perfectly okay. So, with all of that said, manage your expectations to avoid disappointment. Thank you so much for watching this video. Maybe you like my next one, and as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, donate, masturbate.